Man, I don't know where the hell I am. I feel like I'm in a different hotel every day. I just wake up and I hear you and Key's voice, and I get ready for the day. That's how it works.
Does it get you fired up? I mean, do you miss
yours does,
us?
not Keyshawn's.
Wow. Do you miss us
Why?
though? Haven't been, we
I
haven't
didn't
been
even,
in the
I
same
didn't even,
place
I
together
didn't even
for
say nothing. Why is he attacking me?
right at.
Attacking is a
attacking
strong.
me.
There's been a lot of attacking going on.
A lot of
but
it.
not
I have
on this
no
show,
idea
Key.
why you are attacking
We
me.
conversate. We don't argue.
No, I didn't say argue. I just said attack. You like
Attacking
went
carries
at
a
me
negative connotation
for
We're
no
not negative.
reason at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just hear a lot of your slander in the morning, and I don't like it.
Slander from what
Your slanderous
standpoint
slander.
about what? I didn't.
On the Giannis stuff. It just
That's not
it just-
slander.
See, it's again.
It's not.
Cassidy was mad about
it's not
this.
slander.
Gets the
It's the
people
way I
going.
see things, and I explained it. I'm not slandering him. I said I'll take 40 points. His style of play is different, and I'm not into comparing guys based on missed free throws. That's all.
That's what it seems to come down to. is
You're
free
the
throw
expert
thing,
in the
but-
NBA. I'm just learning from you.
Oh no! Don't try to play you the expert card. I see you try to do that. That's Key's way.
I only play one card, man.
You watch the game as much as I do, Key.
No, I do watch the game, but you know it.
Okay.
You know it in and out. I'm learning the NBA game from you. I'm talking about the ins and out of why things are done in the NBA. I understand basketball. I know I know athleticism when I see it, and I know guys can do certain things. But I learned basketball from working with you.
I just don't understand
That's
why
a flower
there's a lot
to you.
of-
Accept it.
I appreciate that. I still understand why there's a lot of clapback when I say Giannis is the Shaq of this era in basketball. Like, I got a lot of clapback from you, even though all the stats allude to it. Like, nobody wants to recognize with the way the game is played, from shooting a lot of threes, we get razzle-dazzled by players like Stephen Curry or Dame, and it's all fitting. I get it. It's entertaining to watch. Luka, it's special. LeBron James with his passing ability. And now we have a player that's a little bit more traditional and gets his points off bangs and putbacks and rebounds. And it just seems like we don't appreciate the blue-collar work in today's game.
You know what, though,
That's
Jay?
what it
For
feels
me,
like.
the reason I say what I say is because when I see the Diesel go to the cup and rebound, it looked like a Diesel. It doesn't just look like a regular truck. When Giannis does it, it just looks like a regular truck to me. There's no intimidation. There's no I am.
Is that demeanor, though, Key, or is that just the physicality traits?
I think
I
it's just.
think you're talking more demeanor, maybe.
But demeanor is what draws me to you. I like the fact that if that was Shaq, the spin move off of Crowder on the baseline, two-hand dunk, we would be calling timeout, bringing in the maintenance crew to screw back in the backboard. Giannis it just didn't look right to me. That's all. You know how I am. I'm big with the eyes, man.
No, but
I like
get it, 'cause you
I
have the
like the
personality
44
for it.
points. But I want you to break somebody's wrist for trying to block your dunk and then step over them.
I just think it's interesting because he doesn't talk trash. He's not over social media. That all of a sudden he's less in a position to be one of the most dominant players and to be a superstar, right? Like, and people want to find ways to say, how come he doesn't get the respect from his peers, or what's wrong with him, or he's not a closer. And what I'm sitting here saying is I appreciate somebody that doesn't need to talk trash.
So do you so do you not appreciate Luka?
Oh, I definitely appreciate
Because
Luka.
Luka is the total opposite. He gonna
Well,
talk that. He gonna talk that Trey. He gonna give it to you.
I'm allowed to appreciate different things, though. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that the only way I find a superstar has to be one way. Like, I like having different avenues. Like, Dame is different than Steph, right? Like, Dame is a lot more like, I'm in your face. I'm gonna say something. Steph will talk to you. He'll just talk to you in different ways. So I think there's appreciation on so many levels about all these superstars and about what they bring to the table in different attributes.
So let me ask you this, Jay. How come Alan Hahn did his typical germ-spreading research 2 days ago and came back with a number of current and former NBA players that don't appreciate I don't want to say appreciate, don't give Giannis the flowers that you say he certainly deserved if that's the case. Why is that? Why is it if we live in this social media world and era where he goes for 41 multiple back-to-back games and everybody act like, oh, well, whatever, and they keep it moving?
I didn't hear Alan's take on this. Alan, could you please provide some context?
Oh, you wasn't. That's right. You wasn't around yesterday. I forgot. My bad.
Now, Jay, we talked about it earlier
Yesterday.
this week, but you and I had that discussion about I think they're just the overall respect factor. Like you felt like, stop disrespecting him. And I was saying, I don't know if it was about respect as much as I don't see the same buzz for him from his peers. I'm a big believer in talent recognizes talent. And I've always felt that way. Like when players tell me this guy's good, and I really buy into it. And because of just how dominant he's been for 2 games, so I just decided to just ask around some former and current players that I know, that just ask them, like, well, what do you think of Giannis? Like, and why don't we see the same flowers on, because social media is the place where you really hear from players who react to things happening in the national game that week. There's the ESPN game on a Saturday night. Mm-hmm. You see a lot of tweeting from NBA players because they know it's the only game on, you're watching it, or the finals, right? And Giannis does stuff, and you just don't see the same thing. Dame Lillard hits a logo 3, people go nuts. Steph Curry does something, they go nuts. LeBron does something. Luka, like you get reactions. Trae Young was doing things that people were reacting to. And I'm saying people, I mean NBA players, blue check NBA players. When I say people, I don't mean fans, I don't mean media. So this is not me making a big deal about social media. It's about the players reacting to another player. And the reaction I got was, oh, no, well, they respect him, but he's just not, there's something about him that just doesn't get the same, it's not the same allure, I guess. And one guy said to me, just look at what James Harden said last year. That's pretty much how guys feel, that it's all athleticism.
You mean when he was like, pretty much like, I wish I could be 7 feet.
Well, he said, he said, yeah, right. He said that, what I do takes skill and athleticism. Has skill, anybody can be 7 feet and just, do that. Like
nobody can just be 7 feet though.
Well, clearly,
first of all, right?
Clearly
Stop, James.
You would know that firsthand, right, Jay?
Yeah. All right, Key.
But Jay, let me just. So that was the thing. It was not that there was a disrespect or don't like him. It was simply that. Now, Steve Novak, who was a great shooter in his career in the NBA, knows Milwaukee well. He does Bucks TV now for them in Milwaukee area. Knows Giannis, knows the team well. We had him on the show yesterday, and I asked him that same exact thing. Like, why is this happening? And I only ask it because of the discussion you and I have had, Jay. And I just feel like where is the enthusiasm for a guy who's won the MVP twice, who's in the finals, who's scoring 40 in the finals? Like, where is that same enthusiasm that you see? It's the one thing I love about the NBA. Players really get behind, like a guy that puts on a performance. Everybody's like, damn, like, look what he's doing. And I don't see the same reaction. So I asked Novak the same question, like, why do you think this happens? And take a listen to what Novak said in return.
If you followed Giannis and watched how he's kind of gone about his journey, it's always been about being the underdog, being the guy who wasn't as respected, who wasn't going to be able to do it. And so, when LeBron invited him to work out in the summers and he said, nah, you know what, I'm good. I'm actually trying to be your greatest competition. I'd rather not. He got invited to be in Space Jam. He said, nah, I'm good. He didn't want to create a super team. I think he's gone about it this way. He signed a 5-year extension to stay in Milwaukee, which, if you think about it, that's it's mind-blowing. I do think that's part of it. Some of it's his style of game that he plays with that makes his sex appeal not quite that LeBron, D-Wade type star level appeal, but he loves who he is. He wants to work his butt off and be better than everybody else.
You think it's as simple as that, Jay? He doesn't run in those circles, so there's not that same relationship?
And I think a couple of things. Number one, I love that this dude wants to do it on his own. I love it. It's his, kid, your son has been playing a lot of AAU basketball. It's been funny for me watching AAU over the span of the last 15 years. Like, I remember when we used to play AAU, if I was going at somebody and if you were my direct competition and you fell to the ground, I wasn't going to step over you, but I was going to look at you to make sure that you recognize that your place in this game is beneath me. Like, I'm not helping you up. Like, your job or your teammate is to help you up. And I feel like sometimes in the game of basketball today, everybody wants to be best friends. So number one, I agree with Steve Novak, and I like that about Giannis, that he wants to do it his way. I respect that at the end of the day. As it relates to what other players have to say, in particular, James Harden, because I pulled up the quote here. He said, "I wish I could be 7 feet, run, and just dunk. That takes no skill at all," Harden said. "I could actually learn how to play basketball and how to have skill. I'll take that any day." Now, James Harden, he's an innovator of the game offensively, right? He's created new styles in which we've seen in the game of basketball. Nobody else has really been able to create. Side step, side double step. I don't even know how to properly articulate how James Harden has influenced or enhanced the game. I see kids out here doing footwork that I never thought could even exist within the game of basketball, and I think it all started with James Harden. But to sit up there and to say that, hey, I got to actually learn how to play basketball, first off, nobody could just be 7 feet tall. Do you know how hard it is for somebody 7 feet tall to build on their hand-eye coordination, their foot coordination, to be able to do the things Giannis can do with the ball? Like, go out there, Key. My mom would say this about some people. It's like, oh, that poor guy, he's a waste of tall. She would say this when we would play AAU ball, right?
Big for no reason.
Big for no reason. That's why it's so rare. That's why it doesn't. It's an anomaly when you get a chance to see guys who can put together and handle the rock the way he does. It's not a Kevin Durant. That's what makes Kevin Durant even more of an anomaly, right? But still, the physicality in which he plays. Is it going to be the sexy thing you see every night? No, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to move away from the numbers, man. I mean, the numbers speak for itself, and that's going to keep him in the history books, regardless of whether he gets tweeted about or not.
Stay in the box, man. Don't shoot threes.
Well, that's the thing. And the numbers, by the way, 500 points this postseason, third most by a player in their first career playoffs. Now, who is that about? Because it says his. That can't be.
He needs, what, 22
be
points
Giannis.
to pass somebody?
I don't know. 22 points to pass Rick Barry. This is Devin Booker. I'm sorry. It said his, so I was assuming that's what this was. But the more important ones is the Shaq comparison, Jay, that I'll give you. I'm having a hell of a day, by the way, Key.
It's okay.
I'm having a
You
hell of a
already
Wednesday,
thinking about
man.
Saturday.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm getting a
Yeah, we're
Saturday.
good.
That's the problem. I'm getting a Saturday. I'm good.
What's
good. I
on
got a good team
Saturday?
around me. Saturday is when vacation begins. So Giannis has done something in this finals.
Already got 1 foot out,
Similar
man.
to Shaquille O'Neal. Although it's different, it's the paint domination, Jay, that you're talking about. So you go back to the 2000 finals for Shaq, his 8th season in the NBA, Giannis in his 8th season. So he's got 50 paint points in his last 2 games. The only other player to have at least 50 paint points in a 2-game span in a single finals in the last 25 postseasons, Shaq. He's averaged, so Giannis averaging 17.3 points per game in the restricted area in the finals. Shaq averaged the exact same, 17.3 in those 2000 finals. So that's the comparisons you're making.
Look at the
between
pictures,
the
though.
two. And yes,
One
right now
dude look
also-
mean, the other dude smiling.
So you're going by the whole
You
look.
could be a dominant force and be
You're going
nice.
by the
look,
whole
look at
thing.
look. What? Hey Jay, one dude got a frown, the other dude cheesing.
How about this?
Why does that matter, though?
Jan, how about this? 1 week after hyperextending his knee.
Oh, God.
we all
part
watch
too,
this,
man.
That's so
We
great.
all watch this, right? Like I gotta be honest. Like I got barely one leg out here. Like I cringed up and curled into a ball when I saw that. But 1 week after hyperextending his knee, this dude is averaging 34 and 14 on 63% 63% field goal percentage. Like I've never seen something like that before. I don't know why it doesn't get the same praise that we would have. Like, can you imagine if LeBron James hyperextended his knee and then came back and was averaging 34 and 14? Like, granted, LeBron has won championships, and I think that kind of plays into it. This is the first time we're seeing Giannis on this stage, and there is a lot of that there's that kind of Shaq dominance. But we'll be beside ourselves if another player at this magnitude dominate the way that he is right now.
I just feel like
Don't
again,
shoot threes.
yeah,
That's all I'm gonna
stay-
tell
right,
you.
stay in the
Stay
paint.
in the paint, man.
Pretty
I love
clear.
you if you just stay in the paint.
pretty clear that that's the thing. But I like I said, Jay, it feels like hate. I feel like when you say like, why can't we just appreciate him? I think that's the problem that I'm having. We get to this level and you watch what he's doing, and I keep watching, saying to myself like, where is the hype? Maybe it's just this finals? Could it be that?
Or is Jay?
Normally
as
we're
I-
going crazy right now about something like this.
Or is it Jay? Like I asked Cassidy Hubbard, who was on with us a little while ago. Is it that players may feel like it's even though he's playing and worthy of his dominance that they're adding, the media is adding more to it. Like they're trying to force Giannis to be the NBA. Could it be a little bit of that?
You actually may have a point there, Key. It's Alan, you and I were even texting about it the other day. Where
Why y'all texting without me?
That's on me.
Interesting.
That's on me. Yeah. Sorry about that, Key.
It's basketball conversation. If it's not the Lakers, you don't want to be involved in it anyway.
Speaking like a true Nick. Go ahead, Jay.
But I was gonna say though, it's I gotta be real with you guys. Like I'm at the games, right? The environments are crazy.
Yeah. The home courts have been amazing.
They've been amazing, but there is something that I think from a national perspective, like even over the weekend, like I know there was the home run derby coming up and all these other things that were happening, but there wasn't the same chatter that typically we would have seen about the NBA Finals. It kind of just went dead. Like nobody even talked about it. I mean, typically when we have NBA Finals, guys, if there's a weekend, some kind of reports coming out, some topic is being brought up over the weekend. One player in particular is becoming a bigger thing. But it just kind of seemed like it was like, all right, then on some Monday, it's like, all right, here we are, Game 3. And I was like, wow, this has a completely different feel than NBA Finals I've been a part of in the past.
You're listening to Jason Williams, host of Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, joining us this morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. I just felt like I needed to do that.
Why are you doing a reset, man?
Because I just feel like we had the guys, people are getting in their cars, they have no idea who we're talking to. So I just felt like that I needed to reset at that point in time. That's all.
What is wrong with him, Alan?
No, he's going into announcer voice, which is always a lot of fun. But, as I was reading that stat before about Devin Booker, again, 500 points this season, the third most by a player in their first career playoffs. Needs just 22 to pass Rick Barry for the all-time record. Stats Incredible, brought to you by My Computer Career Training for a Better Life. I'm calling this game tonight, though, Jay. This is we talked a lot about Giannis. This is the Devin Booker game, though. He's been in a bit of a struggle. They locked him up in Game 3. There's been so much talk about him. And, he's talked a lot about the Kobe influence on him. And I'll tell you what, if that's what you're about, then this is that game. This is that game. Game 4 is your game to show up and show out and see if you can get this thing 3-1 back in your building.
Did he really struggle the first 2 games, though, Alan?
Well, he had a great second half. What was it, Game 2, right? He had a great second half.
Yeah.
But if you look at his numbers shooting-wise, he's not shooting the basketball well.
Yeah, he wasn't shooting well. He wasn't crisp. He was kind of clunky.
As Cassie mentioned as well, he has not actually shot the basketball well since he broke his nose.
39%.
Yeah.
I keep going back to, I saw something when they played against the Clippers that I'm kind of, PJ Tucker's done a great job on him too when Drew Holiday got him as well. That Patrick Beverly matchup was something different for him. I'm not sure how many times Devin has played against somebody. Obviously, he hasn't been in this situation before in the NBA Finals or the Western Conference Finals, but going against somebody who's a tad bit smaller than him that can get up underneath him and make things uncomfortable for him. But I would agree with you, Alan. I think that you look for Devin to have – I honestly feel he's going to be the greatest Phoenix Suns player we'll ever see. And I know that's a huge statement. There are guys like Steve Nash, 2-time Finals MVP. There are guys like Charles Barkley, who's an all-time Phoenix Suns legend. But I think at the end of the day, for the talent that Devin Booker has, it will speak for itself. I mean, if he brings a world championship to Phoenix, I think that puts him and CP3 in a different stratosphere within that Suns organization. I just think Devin Booker has to do more. Sometimes I feel like the ball becomes stagnant in Chris Paul's hands, and I would like to see them play when they play faster. Devin gets the ball out, and the ball's in his hands more. CP3 has even alluded to it a couple of times where he's like, sometimes I'm the old man where I want to slow down the pace of the game, and that comes with the ball being in his hands and him slowing it down and them running Dev off curl screens and things of that sort. So I like when they play fast. I like when whoever gets the rebound, go. Find open threes in transition. Devin, start cooking. Because the more you get him going earlier in the game, I think the better off it'll be for you long term in the game.
I wouldn't change a thing if I'm Budenholzer. I'd run my same everything. I'd do everything the same. Let Giannis dominate the paint, and no room for error whatsoever in terms of Drew Holiday up in his face, giving him he could be able to smell my breath. Like right there. I'm breathing in his ear all night long. And then when I decide to put him down, putting TJ Tucker, right back on him. Same thing. I'm not changing a thing from Game 3.
I'm also going to watch officiating because officiating was a factor in Game 3. They played very physical, but Ayton was the one in foul trouble. The free throw discrepancy was something Monty Williams pointed out. There's no question that was an issue. Giannis had more free throw attempts than the entire Suns team did. So,
I want to do that again in Game 4.
Watch that. Yeah, they want to, but officiating is going to decide whether you can or not. That's just the way it's been.
Scott Foster?
We'll see. Man, I mean, if you're Scott Foster, don't you just one time say, I got to get this guy a win because this is getting ridiculous.
What is it, like 2-15 or something? Some kind of
I think
outlandish.
It's 0-12. Isn't it 0-12?
I think it's like 2-15. That's what our stats guy told us the other day.
Yeah,
something like that.
It's absolutely crazy. But on, on the Booker front, and I do want to get more into this with you later because what you said, it's a pretty strong statement. An all-time great in Phoenix Suns history. It's a franchise that's been around a while and had some great players, but it's possible, especially if he can win them their first championship, which they win this game.
At the age of 24.
They win this game. Yeah, Nash is a two-time MVP. Amari Stoudemire.
Barkley.
I mean, you've got, obviously, Barkley. You've got Kevin Johnson, was a great point
KJ.
guard.
I said Dan Marley already.
But
Tom Chambers.
None of those guys have been able to bring a title.
It's
I'm not
really
saying it
only-
takes away from their individual greatness, but I'm just saying the title.
It's
no, I
really
get it.
only like 3, though, right? I mean, like when you start talking about all-time great, it's only like 3 Suns that you would point to,
It's not.
right?
I don't think it's an outrageous statement, but it certainly would start here, and it would start in the game certainly tonight. So a lot more to get to certainly on this.
Hey, it's Greeny, and Wednesday will be big.